Gay athletes who are considering traveling to Russia for the Winter Olympics can rest easy. They will not be persecuted or prosecuted under Russia's new anti-gay homosexual propaganda bill. Now, this has not been covered a lot by in the media, so we're going to give you the details of it. The bill that I'm talking about was signed by Putin back in June of this year, and it banned so-called homosexual propaganda. Specifically, individuals can be fined up to 5,000 rubles, which equates to about $156, for spreading information aimed at minors directed at forming non-traditional sexual setup or creating a distorted understanding that homosexual and heterosexual relations are socially equivalent. Once again, we have to be understanding this is a different country. They may not be as advanced as even America is when it comes to equality for homosexuals. Like, we've got a long way to go, but they are specifically writing into their laws at the equivalent of the federal level across the country that they're not socially equivalent. But let's go on. The fines increased significantly, 200,000 rubles, or about $62.50, for individuals who post the information on the internet or in the media, while organizations can be fined up to 1 million rubles, $31,000, and a shutdown of their activity for 90 days. In addition, foreigners charged under the law can be deported. Now, before we get back to the Olympic angle, think about that. $30,000 and possibly being shut down for 90 days if an organization does any sort of outreach intended to have youths in Russia or others think that it's socially acceptable to be homosexual or to engage in those sorts of relationships, or maybe they should be allowed to marry, or various other things like that. Like, we have problems in America, trust me. And, you know, even the recent Supreme Court cases don't give me a lot of hope necessarily in the next couple of years for marriage equality. But Jesus, Russia is a couple of steps behind us. Now, we've got some polls about how individuals, not just Putin and the legislators, but individuals in Russia view homosexuals. And so here's what we've got. This is an online poll, so take it with a massive grain of salt. 15% of about 900 LGBT people surveyed in Russia said they'd been physically attacked at least once in the previous 10 months. 15% is too high. It's not a very high number. It's too high when you're talking about being physically assaulted for your sexuality. And furthermore, the Levanda Center did a poll in 2013, so just a little bit earlier in April of this year, and also back in 2005. And look, they asked Russians, should gays and lesbians have the same rights as heterosexuals? Back in 2005, 51% said they should. That's a majority. Back in 2005, that's a good number. Unfortunately, in 2013, it has dropped all the way down to 39%, so a significant drop in the last 8 years. Now, why is that? Look, it could be due to economic hardship. Generally, in times of economic, military hardship, things of that sort, people do become more xenophobic. They become more inclined to discriminate against outgroups. It's easy to want to see them as causing the problems in the country. We've seen that in many historical cases over the past 150 years. And so I can only imagine that that's what it is. But there's been a number of articles lately wondering why it is that Russia has become so homophobic. Now, look, I think it's great that they're saying that the Olympic athletes won't be persecuted, although that remains to be seen because, look, they're not going to be fined, perhaps, for distributing propaganda, but do they have to worry for their safety? At this point, it seems like they should worry for their safety. And look, this is not where we need to be as a world. We have major problems. The problems are not caused by homosexual athletes, so Russia needs to back off in this case. And hopefully, eventually, we'll see a repeal of that homosexual propaganda bill as well.